Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Saint Nightingale. In this tutorial video, I'm going to be showing you how to cut the crop top using Ankara fabric. So first off, you have to lay your fabric on the floor and make sure it's folded into two. Then you mark the full length. The full length for me is 20 inches, but I made it 22.5 inches because of the allowance on the top and on the bottom. I proceeded to marking this same 22.5 inches towards the end of the fabric so that I can connect the dot from point A to point B. I'm also going to the center points right now to mark 22.5 inches just so that I'm sure that at the end of the day the length is accurate. So I picked up my short ruler and I began to connect the dots from, let me call it, point A to point B and point C. So this is done. I've connected the dots from point A, B and C, and I'm now going to proceed to marking the shoulder points. The shoulder for this measurement is 14 inches, so that's 14 inches divided by 2 gives us 7 inches. I'm going to add half an inch allowance to make it 7.5 inches. I'm going to take that 7.5 inches, I'm going to move downwards to also mark it to be able to get my armhole. So I'm going to the midpoint as well to also mark 7.5 inches. I'm now going to go from up downward to mark my armhole measurement. My armhole measurement is 9.5, which is times 2, and that's overall 19 inches. I'm now going to take my ruler to connect the dots from the shoulder to the armhole. After doing this, I'm now going to proceed to marking the bust point. The bust point I'm using for this crop top is 40 inches. Divided by 2 will give us 10 inches. But I'm going to proceed to add 1 inch sewing allowance because for this crop top I'm doing the inner closing now. I'm not doing the outer type of closing. If you want to know what this is, watch out for another tutorial video that would explain to you how to sew using the inner closing. So let's proceed. I've made this 11 inches, so I'm going to mark 11 inches just by the bust area where the armhole stops. So I'm going to proceed to go to the end of this fabric and mark 11 inches as well, so that at the end of the day I can connect it from, let's call it, point A to point B. So I'm marking this now. I'm now going to connect the dot, but before connecting the dot I thought it was just best to reconfirm, because as I was looking at it, the upper measurement was looking smaller than the lower measurement. So I took my tape rule again just to cross check that what I marked was 11 inches up and down, and then I discovered that what I had marked was 11.5 on the lower part. So I adjusted my measuring tape to measure 11 inches and not 11.5 inches. It's always good to always cross check, because sometimes your brain can just rearrange these figures. So I took my short ruler again to connect the dots, and now I'm also connecting the dots from where the bust point stops to where the armhole stops as well. So I'm going to mark 1.5 inch horizontally and vertically, just as you can see it. I'm also marking 1.5 inches rather on that side. I'm going to use my chalk to create a bend, because the armhole is not a sharp bend, it's a curved bend. Then I proceeded to marking the round neck. The neck measurement is 2.5, that's times 2, which is 5 inches. The depth of this crop top that I'm using is 3.5 inches. The 3.5 inches already covers my joining allowance, so I'm going to also mark that 3.5 inches again, just so that I can get like a squared shape. What I call it a square shape or a rectangle shape. So I'm going to take my ruler now and create that 4 square shape. First of all, remember I'm doing a round neck shape, so I'm going to take 1.5 inches again, vertically and horizontally, and I'm going to use my chalk to connect the markings that I have made so that I can have that round neck cut. And there you have it. So after this, I'm now going to create my shoulder bend, take out 1 inch away from the shoulder, and I'm going to take the ruler again to connect the dot from the starting point for the neck to the shoulder to create the shoulder bend. And then this is what you have. I'm sorry that you cannot see the markings properly because of the choice of chalk, so I'm going to be picking up my white chalk to bolding the line so that you can see the tracing properly. Before then, I also decided to pick up my curve ruler to define the armhole properly. So I'm going to be taking the curve ruler now, and I'm going to be placing on the armhole just to create that proper bend from where the curve is in the armpit area to where the shoulder measurement stops, just as you can see in this video. So I've done that now, and I'm going to take my white chalk now to see the areas that I'll be cutting. So I've gotten my white chalk, and I'm going to take the white chalk now and mark the areas that need to be cut so you can see as I'm going across the fabric. So I'm connecting what the pink chalk had marked. So this is it. So I'm going to take my scissors now, and I'll begin cutting through this. And this is what you have after cutting the parts that you do not need. This is the basic design for the crop top. So I'm going to use this to cut the back design. I'm adjusting the camera so you can see the full view of what this looks like. So I'm going to use this pattern that I've created for the front part to cut the back design. So I folded the Ankara fabric again into two and then placed the front side of this on the Ankara fabric. I'm going to take out 2 inches for the zip allowance on all sides. I'm taking my tape rule to measure to be sure that everything is 2 inches. So from the start point, I'm going to take out 1 inch, which is the curve at the back. I'm not using the same depth that I used in front. I'm using a smaller depth, so I'm going to also mark with the chalk the bend from for the depth of the back pattern. So I've marked that now. I'm now going to use the scissors to cut this out. Remember that when you're placing this interface, especially all the patterns, especially when you're working with fabrics that have defined patterns, you can see this fabric has a defined pattern. Ensure that the back pattern is also correlating with the front pattern in terms of where those lines are connecting. It's almost as seamless as possible. So I'm tracing it using the front pattern. I'm tracing out the back pattern, and I'm also going to open up that part of the joining for the zip, and there you have it. I joined with the lining, and this is the outcome of the crop top that we created. If you have any questions or comments, please do not forget to leave them down below in the comment section. I'll be willing to hear from you. Also, do not forget to subscribe, like the video, watch other tutorial videos to learn other tricks, sewing tricks. I mean, I just recently posted a video that says, or rather teaches, how to cut palazzo trousers. So I come your way again. Have a lovely rest of the day. Bye bye.